All right, we've done a number of shows throughout the year on folks that have the ability to try and help others in our community. And today we are joined in studio by the Reverend Dr. Jarrod Flaming. He is the senior pastor of Open Arms Loving Hearts Ministry, and they do a lot of work here in the community with homeless and others. And Jarrod, or I should say Reverend Dr. Flaming, when did you kind of get into this? What made you start this ministry?
Well, I got my doctorate degree in 2018 and I was keying towards more of the prison ministry to help the inmates. And then I had met my current wife, and she was into helping the needy and the homeless here in Tucson. And we decided to go ahead and open the ministry here in Tucson and give back to the citizens in the community here that need it. Everything we do and are funded is out of our own pockets.
So what goes into starting a ministry? I mean, how does one go about doing that?
I guess I would just say you have to have a heart to help people. You've got to be able to have the backing to get the donations to help you out, to find the building, to pretty much determine which avenue you want to go down, because ministries can be either churches or they can be like we are. We are a thrift store, not a church. But all of our thrift store proceeds is where our ministry comes into effect and goes back into the community of Tucson here. 100% of everything other than our building expenses goes back into helping those in need.
So you're a thrift store. So what do you sell?
We sell pretty much anything and everything. We've got furniture, knickknacks, clothing, kitchen utensils, kitchen supplies. The only real thing we don't sell are, in-laws, outlaws, things like that. If it can be sold, we'll take it in and sell it.
We're joined by the Reverend Dr. Jarrod Flaming. He's senior pastor of Open Arms Loving Hearts Ministry. Now, how long ago did you guys decide to make this decision to start the ministry?
We decided to start it in August of last year, but have finally been able to, with the grace of God, been able to find a building and open the thrift store. We were running everything out of our house at one time, but we've been very fortunate to land a 1,200 square foot building on 22nd Street right now that we just moved into June 1st. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later, about our grand opening coming up July 1st.
Outstanding. What denomination is the ministry?
It's a non-denominational.
Outstanding.
So we help any and all faiths. I don't, I'm not going to discriminate against, Islam, Christianity, Catholic, whatever. Anybody that needs help, we're there for.
So obviously you're just getting started last fall. Where is your funding coming from to try to help you guys obviously do what you need to do and want to do in the community?
Right now, all the funding we are getting just that we used to start the business came from our own pockets. Now the thrift store is starting to, fund the building and the extra stuff that we need to go and give it out to the, people of Tucson here.
So if people want to try to help you and be involved, how do they go about doing that?
Right now, they can either drop the items off at 6003 East 22nd Street here in Tucson. It's located between Craycroft and Wilmot. Or if they want to do any monetary donations, they can either drop them off there or mail them to that address. We're right now in the process of setting up PayPal, Venmo, and all of that. We just haven't gotten to that point of setting them up yet.
So now, obviously, you have the thrift store. Do you have a foot patrol? Are you out in the community? Are you going to places where homeless are? How do you contact the folks out there that you're trying to help?
We do a lot on foot. Where I'm out and about town a lot. We have customers that come in and give us locations of where the homeless camps are. And unfortunately, I can't mention the name of the organization due to legal reasons, but they donated us 30 cases of water. And we will be going out in the next 2 weeks with the water and ice coolers and giving out to the homeless here in Tucson.
What is, I guess, obviously we're in the midst of our first heat wave of the summer. What's important about this time right now in terms of the homeless population and what they need to be mindful of and how you're trying to help them during this time of immense heat, excessive heat?
To me, what they need to be mindful of is just keeping themselves hydrated, making sure that they have the things they need to protect them from the heat, whether it be clothes, because you see a lot of them run around with no shirts on, or run around with pretty much nothing on. So try to help them out as far as making sure they've got what they need to protect themselves from the heat, whether it be water, whether it be clothing, whether it be something to build a fort with that they can sleep under, whatever is what we try to do right now.
We're pleased to be joined this morning by the Reverend Dr. Jarrod Flaming. He is the senior pastor of Open Arms Loving Hearts Ministry, and they've got a thrift store. I believe you said 6,000 block of East 22nd Street, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what percentage of the profits from the store goes directly back into the ministry for the community?
Other than our building expenses that we have to pay, 100% of all profits and proceeds that come into the ministry go back out to the citizens. My wife and I are the two that run the place, and neither one of us take any paycheck and will not take a paycheck.
You mentioned, obviously, you've provided water. What other kinds of things are you providing for those in the community?
Clothing, pillows, jacket. This winter, I think it was September or October, somewhere in there, we went out with about 60 jackets that were donated to us, and we provided the homeless with the jackets. And a lot of times we're driving down the road, we'll have water or stuff in the car, and we'll see somebody on the street that needs something, and we'll stop, hand them the water, hand them the jacket, hand them, a pillow, shirts, shoes, whatever they need if we've got it in our possession at that time. If not, we try to schedule times that we go out into the streets and give to the people.
And are these all items that are coming in via the thrift store, or are you acquiring these by other means?
We acquire a lot of our stuff via donations. And we've got one local store that helps donate to us. And then we also have individuals that are more than welcome to drop anything off at any time. We're there, and we will put it to use. And the nice thing with us is if we can't use it, we have other organizations that can use it, so it does not go to waste.
Obviously, we were talking about the heat, the excessive heat we're dealing with right now. Water is very important. What are the other important items that you would need right now during this time of year, and then what items do you need throughout the year moving forward?
Right now, our biggest number one item, we don't have it, and it's hurting us, is we need a delivery vehicle so that we're able to take this water and go out into the community and deliver it more often. We have a place that we can store the water, be able to load it, and go out there. Instead of only being able to take 2 or 3 cases out in our vehicle, we get a delivery vehicle where we would be able to take 30 or 40 cases out with us. Long term, we're looking at being able to purchase food, things like that, probably within the next 6 months, be able to go purchase once a month food and take it out to the homeless so that they're able to eat, whether it be food purchased from a local Walmart or local, grocery store, something like that, or if we just go to a local fast food and purchase. That's what our goal is. That's what our 6-month goal is. And like I said, our immediate goal and our immediate need right now is a delivery vehicle so that we're able to continue doing this.
Are there in terms of food and handing food out to the homeless? Because I know that we encounter people all the time that just maybe come in contact with food and can't use it all. Are there regulations involved in that in giving of food to the homeless, or is that just something if you have an extra thing of chicken that you can't use or you had for catering or something, you can just go and give it out?
I really am not sure. That's still something we're researching. But I do know that if you go to like Walmart, or not Walmart, sorry, but if you go to like a McDonald's, fast food, something like that, and you purchase, you can take and give it to them. I've seen people go out and cook meals at home and just go out on their own and give the meals to the homeless. So as far as I know, helping them like that, I don't know of any regulations, but it is something I am looking into so that I can make sure we are following all the proper protocols that need to be followed.
We're chatting with the Reverend Dr. Jarrod Flaming. He is senior pastor of the Open Arms Loving Hearts Ministry. More than just a ministry, it's a beacon of hope for those facing hardships in our community. Their mission is to extend a helping hand to the homeless, veterans, and individuals in need. Jarrod, you said your wife is involved in this project, obviously, with you. What is her role in all of this?
She's actually our director. Unfortunately, she's my boss. I hate to admit
Even if you weren't in this business, she's your boss.
that is true there. They say happy wife, happy life. So, but she's mainly in charge of the thrift store. She does, all of that side of it. And I'm pretty much running everything else as far as doing the radio broadcast, doing the donations, getting them out to the needy people that need it, the other organizations that we're working with to be able to help the people in Tucson.
Now, obviously, you mentioned at the top your thrift store on East 22nd Street. You mentioned also that there's a grand opening coming up. Tell us about that and the hours of operation.
We have a grand opening coming up July 1st of this year. We've been fortunate and blessed by two different organizations here in Tucson that are going to allow us to do a raffle to help support the ministry and our mission. BJ's Restaurant and Brew House has been kind enough to donate us two $50 gift cards to raffle off, as well as the Texas Roadhouse located on Wilmot has donated us a $40 gift card so that we're able to raffle off and continue the work. So if you guys are in the area, those two, please stop in and thank those people for what they're doing and, show them the love and the support that's needed to keep them going as well. Our hours of operation are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays from 8 to 4. Friday and Saturdays are 8 to pretty much, whenever the boss lady says close.
There you go.
Other than that, like I said, the raffle's going to be going on from the day of this interview until July 5th. And you can stop by the thrift store to get the raffle tickets.
And again, the thrift store, they offer a wide selection of affordable clothing, household items. All proceeds from the thrift store go directly towards supporting all of the outreach efforts for Open Arms Loving Hearts Ministry. Now, if members of the homeless community, can they come by the store? Are there services that you provide for them if they come to the location?
If a homeless person comes in and needs something, we're going to give it to them. If we have it in our store, if they're saying, "Hey, I'm thirsty," I'm going to give them the water. "Hey, I don't have a shirt or I don't have, good shoes." If we've got something that fits it, I'm going to give them to them. I'm not going to sit there and turn a person away. We also, besides the ministry side, my doctorate in ministry is in counseling. So we also do provide counseling services for anybody, as well as doing weddings. And we also do have a notary on staff that we will notarize documents for somebody that really is struggling. If they need something notarized, we can take care of that for them as well.
You mentioned early on that you began, obviously, working with veterans as well. Are you still working with veterans?
Yes, sir. I'm actually a veteran myself.
Okay.
And we do work a lot with the veterans. We're in the process of trying to work with a few other organizations right now to come together as a group to be able to help and support the veterans a lot more than what's going on out there right now.
What was the extent of your service?
United States Navy, sir.
There you go. Well, thank you very much for your service. He is Reverend Dr. Jarrod Flaming, Senior Pastor of Open Arms Loving Hearts Ministry. They've got a thrift store. Give us that address one more time.
It's 6003 East 22nd Street, located between Craycroft and Wilmot on 22nd Street.
Is there a website if people want to donate or get in touch?
Yes, sir. The website is openarmslovingheartsministry.org, and our Facebook page is Open Arms Loving Hearts Ministry.
And check out their grand opening at their thrift store July the 1st. Coming up here very shortly. Jarrod, we appreciate you stopping by and telling us about this great opportunity that you have going on to help the homeless here in our community.
No problem. Thank you, Mr. Kelly, for having us. You know, we really appreciate it, and you keep up the work you guys are doing to help those of us that are trying to help the people out here.